York Jets. Now, here's Eric Allen and Eric Coleman.
Welcome to Inside the Jets. We're broadcasting live from Vanderbilt Sports and Spirits inside the Wyndham Hamilton Park Hotel. Eric Allen alongside Eric Coleman. Our player guest segment is presented by M&T Bank, the official community bank of your New York Jets. Yeah, you heard that right, because Jordan Jenkins got in here. He was so anxious to get on the show. He's batting leadoff. Jordan, guys are undefeated in the season second half. A little two-game winning streak. Must feel nice.
It definitely does, and we just can't forget about all the work we put in to get those wins. And it's sort of like you got to keep the same 24-hour rule after a game. It's like after a loss, you got 24 hours to get rid of it, and after a win, you want to get it out your head so you can get focused on the next week.
So, after a win, it's a lot easier to get through the lumps and get through the film sessions. How was the film session, going through what you did at Washington?
It went pretty good, except, defensively we should have been more consistent, should have put them away without allowing those last few points. But, we saw we did good, and we just have to look at we looked at the details about some of the things that that where one person might not have been doing the job, but everyone else made up for it, and just looked at the smaller details of what we have to do to get better for the rest of the season.
How frustrating was it? As an outside linebacker, you're taking on double teams. You're taking on the offensive linemen, throughout the game, being physical, and you see a little dude, Jamal Adams, come through and get 3 sacks. How tough was that?
Oh, God, here we go. You got him going now.
It's even worse for me because there's a play. I stunned it inside, beat the tackle, beat the guard, and I go to reach out. While it happened, I thought I just missed. I looked back on film. AP had pushed me in the side, and as I'm going to tag Haskins when he's on the ground, I just see 3-3 come out of nowhere, and I'm like, man, I can't believe I lost out on a sack by 4 inches.
Yeah.
I was up in the press box, and I was wondering if they were going to give both of you guys a half there.
No.
But
no credit.
Jamal Adams has 6 sacks, 5 sacks over the course of the last 2 games. Already, those 6 sacks, the most by any Jets defensive back in franchise history, and the 3 sacks in a single game, the most by any Jets defensive back in franchise history.
Yeah, that's amazing. And honestly, if he keeps playing like that in the next 2 weeks, he should most definitely get AFC Defensive Player of the Month. Because, he's playing lights-out football right now.
How do you feel about that, Eric? You played the safety position.
I love it. I love seeing the safeties, come up in blitzes, being run support and be involved in the defense. But, it really speaks to what Greg Williams is doing. And yesterday, I don't know if it was just me, but it seemed like you guys were doing a lot more disguising. You blitz a lot, from a blitz front, but you also drop back into coverage quite a bit. Was that the case yesterday? Were you trying to confuse the young quarterback?
Yeah, we showed him a lot of different looks where it'll be the same personnel, same groupings, but have a different guy drop out. Like there's times where me and Terrell Basham were lined up in the A-gaps and acting like we're going to run a twist game because we ran that the previous week, and we both ended up dropping like 3 or 4 times, and they didn't know where the pressure was coming from because of all the different looks we've showed throughout the season.
Yeah, because a few times there was a bunch of guys lined up. You like you mentioned, you and Basham would drop out, and you would end up rushing 4 and have 7 back in coverage. That was pretty interesting to watch from afar.
Yeah, it definitely was a well thought out game plan that was executed darn near to perfection.
Inside the Jets is supported by M&T Bank, the official community bank of your New York Jets. Eric Allen alongside Eric Coleman and Jordan Jenkins. Like Eric just mentioned, some of those blitzes, they weren't blitzes. You're rushing 4, but the disguises were so well executed. Are you going to get in Greg Williams' ear this week and say, hey, that was nice. You gave Jamal Adams a chance to get after the quarterback. You gave Brian Poole a chance to get after the quarterback. 48's got to eat now too.
Look, in the back of my mind, I'm trying to get those next 5 sacks that finally break the double-digit barrier. But, hey, as long as we keep stacking W's, I'm happy with it.
Well, you keep dropping back in coverage, you're going to start getting some INTs.
That's right. You guys are climbing up the statistical charts right now. Number 13 overall in defense, but number 1 in the National Football League against the run in terms of yards per game, 79.1, and then tops in yards per carry. How much pride do you take in that? Because you are an outside linebacker who sometimes has his hand in the dirt, and you are turning everything back inside.
I mean, it's something we definitely take a lot of pride in because at the end of the day, it comes down to who's going to be the bigger man, who's got more willpower in it. Because it's literally just man on man. Like, are you going to stop me or am I going to run through you? And that's sort of the mentality we take when we are thinking about stopping the run.
16 sacks the past 3 weeks. It's not just Jamal.
Mm-hmm.
It is everybody who is contributing. That number equals the most in a 3-game span for the New York Jets since 1981 when they were calling those guys up front the New York Sack Exchange.
Yeah, I mean, that's something that I've always been telling people, like we don't stress about not getting home. I mean, we wish we could. There's times where teams against us are getting the ball out a lot quicker than the NFL averages. And we knew that sacks come in bunches, so we just couldn't let that get in our heads and just make the play when it's your turn to make it.
And going against this week, you held Saquon Barkley to 1 yard rushing. Mm-hmm. This week you have Adrian Peterson, one of the greats to play the game. What were the challenges that Adrian Peterson had for you guys that you were looking at film and saying we have to do this against?
And Darius Geis, he flashed some explosion out there.
With AP, he's he's first ballot Hall of Famer. I mean, he's still got he's got just about everything but the top end speed that he had back in the day. And I mean, he's just running angry. Like, he's running out there with passion, and he's running out there trying to prove that he still can tote the rock, and he definitely can. And he also can. He knows where the hole's going to be in the offensive game plan. Like, he'll set up a run for himself. Like, he's fully committed that he's not going to miss or see a lane there that he thinks is open that's not actually going to be there. But by the time he gets there, it's not. He's going to take the correct lane and hit it hard.
What happens to you out on the football field for those who have not seen the miking of Jordan Jenkins against the New York Giants? Go to NewYorkJets.com or any of the Jets digital platforms, and you'll see a man, a human being, become transition into a beast, a full-out savage out there.
Yeah, me off the field and me on the field is honestly two different people. Like, I'm really relaxed off the field. It takes a lot to get me mad, but on the field I got a quick switch, and I'm just trying to destroy and run through whoever's lined up against me.
It's something else. It is a pleasure to watch because is there something that happens for you after the national anthem, or is it even before that where you say, okay, warrior mode?
I mean, it's honestly, as soon as we get outside the tunnel, as soon as they start the national anthem, I mean, it gets the energy going. I mean, it gets the blood curling, and you get the little chill bumps going. And, I mean, they're locked in. They lock the gates. It's just ready to roll after that.
Now, Jordan, what has it been like playing for Greg Williams? Obviously changing coordinators from last year. What does Greg Williams bring to practice? What does he bring to game? What kind of mentality does he instill as a D coordinator?
Greg is just he's loud, energetic. Like, he's just always in your face about things, and he's not going to let you skate by. Like, Greg Williams doesn't settle for mediocrity. Like, if you're doing something wrong, he's not going to be like, oh, all right, you'll do it right in the game. No, he's going to get on to you in front of everybody and let you know that this is what you need to do, and that's what you don't do. He's a high energy guy and has very select few words that are very colorful for everyone to hear.
Yeah.
What does it say about the character in the locker room, the way that you guys have responded the last couple weeks? Left for dead there, 1-7, lose to a winless team in Miami, come back, grab a victory at home over the Giants, seesaw game. But against Washington, I thought you really showed your maturation as a group because it was a convincing win wire to wire.
Yeah, I mean, that was one game where we actually finally put it together, special teams-wise, offensively and defensively. And, I mean, it just we just didn't really, when we got put in stressful situations. I think Sam threw the pick, or I forgot, somebody might have fumbled. We go out there.
Yeah, Sam had the pick, and this is back-to-back, and then Vincent Smith.
Yeah.
Ensuing kickoff. You guys are, I believe it was a 26 and 17-yard line. And, Jordan, you held them to 3 points on those two possessions.
Yeah, I mean, one on we get the stop, fourth, and they wouldn't go for it on fourth down. We get the batted pass. And, I mean, it just goes to show the resiliency of the defense and the offense. Like, when somebody scores on us, it's like, all right, offense goes down there, drives the field, scores. And it's just sort of the mentality we got to have, like, so what, now what? Go out there, do your job, and make plays.
What about Bless Austin, the rookie from Rutgers? He comes in, makes his first professional start against the Washington Redskins. The week prior, he came in to the game, and he flashed against the New York Giants. It does not look like the lights are too bright for him.
Nah, I mean, Bless is he's a good kid. I mean, he puts the work in. He's been working every day. I mean, I see him in the training room since camp. Like, he's been putting in the work, just waiting for his turn. And, I mean, he goes hard in practice, got into a little scuffle with Brian Winters in practice a little bit ago. And that's a huge size difference. But, I mean, Bless is he's a good kid that's ready to leave his mark in the league.
Now, Jordan, going into this offseason, I know there were some things that you wanted to work on as a player, and they're showing out in the field. I mean, you're doing a great job in your pass rush. You've always been very good against the run. What are some of the things that you went and worked on, some of the things that you focused on in the offseason?
I really just wanted to work on, one, getting the body right. Lost about maybe 5% body fat this offseason, and I really just sort of wanted to work on my hand usage and really just reacting better versus sets and just finishing to the quarter. Once I got a guy beat, just working another move and finishing, like stacking moves on top of each other and speeding up when you got a guy beat.
You are an unselfish player. You see a lot of guys from that edge position. They're going to go upfield. They're going to try to go wide, and no matter what, they might even try to circle back at the quarterback. But you maintain that disciplined rush lane where you're taking that angle to make sure that quarterback does not have an escape route.
Right. That's something we've really been harping on these last 3 or 4 weeks. Early on, we had some really mobile quarterbacks, really shifty guys, and we came together and was like, all right, if we want to get sacks, we all need to play off of each other. And in order to do that, we have to maintain our rush lanes, and that's when the sacks will come. And we really have to do that when we end up playing against Lamar Jackson.
Oh, yeah.
Watching his highlights today, I think it was just on the TV a little bit ago. Like, that man is he's playing like he's honestly the best quarterback in the league right now.
Sure.
And, you can't, going against a guy like that caliber, you can't get out of your rush lanes or he'll scar you up like he has all season long.
How quickly do you turn your attention to the Oakland Raiders? This is a team that has playoff aspirations now. A lot of people before the season, guys, thought, oh, Oakland, they traded Khalil Mack away. They traded Cooper away. What's going on there? The whole Antonio Brown saga. But John Gruden's got those fellows playing well, 6-4 right now.
Yeah, I mean, they're playing lights-out football. I know I got an old teammate of mine, Jonathan Abrams, back there at safety that was hurt, and he embodies what that defense is about. Like, they're all high-strung, disciplined guys that are eager to show that they can play. So, I mean, I saw Max Crosby walk away with 4 sacks on the train ride back. Like, as soon as we got on the train, they had the game on, and we were watching that. And, I mean, it's going to be a good game. Like, those guys are really a real tight-knit unit. Derek Carr's leading the way. Like, he goes to bat for his boys. And, I mean, they're just a really tight-knit bunch that are trying to make a run for this thing.
And listen, the Jets defense, number one in rushing defense. When you go out and play an opponent, how important is it for you to stop the run initially? There's a lot of talk about how this is the passing league now, but you still have to stop the run if you want to have success, correct? Am I correct?
Yeah, no, that's 100% right. In order for you for a defensive lineman, and in order for an outside linebacker, defensive end, a three-technique D-tackle, I mean, it's like in order for you to have the fun you want to have to get to the quarterback on third down and in pass situations, you got to stop the run. If teams don't need to pass the ball, why the hell are they going to pass the ball? Like, we may just keep running it down your throat and just keep running until you like it.
How about the Raiders? Do you see them as an old-school opponent? Short passing game. Derek Carr's completing like 72% of his passes, having a great season. But the rookie, Josh Jacobs, out of Alabama, averaging about 4.8 yards a carry, close to 5 yards a carry. He's got 7 touchdowns. And it seems like they play a lot of big packages. They'll come in there with 12 personnel, 13 personnel, and try to run it down your throat.
Yeah, I mean, that's old school. I mean, honestly, when you look at them, it's like the SEC offense. I mean, they've got they're going to try and out-physical you, try and be more aggressive. And, I mean, that Josh Jacobs is what an SEC running back is. I mean, he's a hard-hitting guy. I got to show the SEC love. But, I mean, he's a guy that you got to hit, you got to wrap up against because, I mean, he's playing pretty well this year. I mean, he's just doing his thing.
And listen, going into this last stretch, actually into the second half of the season, what are your goals? What are the team's goals? Obviously, you want to win every game as they come, but what makes this a success for the New York Jets?
I mean, success for us is just we want to go all the way. We want to get to the playoffs, and we want to keep fighting. We don't want to know when our last game is. We want to just, like, after Week 16, we don't want it. It's sort of the thing, like, you don't want to know when your last game is in the season. You want to just keep going and keep battling and let the chips fall where they may at the end of the season. I mean, that's how the approach we've had these last couple of weeks is focus on the opponent we got this week, and then, you know, at the end of the year, count up all them wins and losses, and then see what can happen.
What do you think about this line, the Oakland Raiders, from left to right? Colton Miller, Richie Incognito, former Buffalo Bill.
Yeah.
Rodney Hudson, still one of the better centers in football, I would say. Gabe Jackson and Trent Brown at right tackle.
I mean, I know they got a hell of a guy at left tackle. I was actually talking to Alex Lewis today about their offensive lineman. He was like, yeah, man, that left tackle, he's playing probably a Pro Bowl season this year. He's actually playing some of the best football he has ever had since we've been in the league. And you know what you're going to get with Richie. And, I mean, the tight end, Darren Waller, is also having a hell of a season as well. So, I mean, they've got a lot of talent in that offensive line and in the tight end position.
Is Richie a guy that you will exchange pleasantries with on Sunday a few times?
You know, I might see him every now and then in some of the packages. And I'm not going to get the flag. I'm going to try and keep balling and let my play do the talking.
What do you think about your quarterback, is Sam Darnold, against the Washington Redskins? A career-high 4 touchdown passes in the last 2 weeks. You're seeing an ascending ball player right now.
Man, Sam, he's pretty hot right now. I mean, he's making all the right checks. I mean, he didn't let after he threw the pick, got the offense together and was like, hey, look, we need to get this thing right. Like, I can't remember what he said. I just remember looking over and he got everybody together and he got control of the huddle, and it was one of the first few times I saw him I looked at him and it's like, oh wow, like he's taking control of this thing and he's being a true quarterback. And I mean, he just was on it. Like, it was a great thing to see.
Yeah. How much stress does a guy like that? You talked about Lamar Jackson. I'm not comparing Sam to Lamar Jackson, of course, but what he can do outside the pocket, because there were a couple times against Washington where the pocket started to break a little bit, and he just shuffled a couple steps, and you saw defenders drawn up or they froze, and you saw a couple of your tight ends just take off. Ryan Griffin had a huge day receiving.
Yeah, I mean, Sam's he's realizing what he could do on his legs. I mean, if you look back to the Giants game even, like, he made a lot of plays while people were taking him to the ground. Like, he's not making some of the mistakes he made before, like throwing an errant pass here and there when guys are around him. Like, he's gotten used to it, and it's like, oh, okay, I know I'm about to go down. Read one's not there, look at two, all right, throw it there, boom. And, I mean, he's just getting more comfortable in that backfield and getting outside the pocket and making plays.
You mentioned double-digit sacks before. You missed a couple games earlier this season. You're back to full health. What would that mean to you? You're always about team and talking about what you guys can do collectively, but just that figure yourself, what would that mean?
I mean, that's definitely something I've always wanted to achieve, and this is I'm set up pretty nicely right now. I mean, missed 3 games, but, I mean, 6 games left. I've got 5 sacks now. Jamal stole 1, so it should be 6, but going to let that one ride. But, I mean, hey, 6 games left, sack a game, leave me at a pretty great number.
Well, Jordan, you got things going on, and that whole entire Jets defense is playing at an awfully high level right now. We thank you so much for stopping by. As always, you are listening to Inside the Jets on ESPN New York.
Ernst & Young LLP is proud to be the exclusive professional business and accounting services sponsor of the New York Jets and MetLife Stadium. Teaming with them as the official sponsor of the EY Coaches Club. As a global leader in assurance, tax, Transaction and Advisory Services, the global network of EY firms, has better connected consultants who help organizations navigate the transformative age by asking better questions to find answers to some of the world's toughest challenges, all to build a better working world for their people, clients, and communities.
Whether you're kicking back after a busy day or just kicking off a night out, join them at Vanderbilt Sports and Spirits, located inside the Wyndham Hamilton Park Hotel in Florham Park, New Jersey. Sample all of your game day favorites from light snacks to locally sourced fare and enjoy a rotating selection of craft beers and local brews. Catch your favorite team on one of their 27 televisions. Challenge friends at a game of pool on 2 regulation-sized tables or gather around the fire pit on their outdoor patio. Visit Vanderbilt Sports and Spirits in Florham Park, New Jersey for your game day experience.
We haven't seen a superstar like this in years.
You're not kidding, Bob. But people need to know about this standout.
Introducing this year's most sought-after rookie, the M&T Bank Jets debit card. New on the scene, this fantastic plastic stands 2.125 inches tall and weighs a lean 0.2 ounces. This small but mighty paying machine is sure to be charging through checkout lines all season long.
Hey Jets fans, get your hands on the exclusive Jets debit card with Easy Choice Checking. It's free from a monthly maintenance fee and free from a minimum balance requirement, leaving you free from worry.
You know, I have a feeling we're going to be seeing this powerhouse everywhere soon.
No doubt about it. I want one on my team.
So show your love for the Jets and save on fees today. Rush to any M&T Bank branch or mtb.com/Jets today. M&T Bank, the official community bank of your New York Jets. Other transaction and service fees, including insufficient funds and overdraft fees, may apply to this account. Member FDIC.
There's a chance your local Geico agent owns the same designer dog breed as you.
Wait, you own a Chihuahua too?
Half bulldog, half Chihuahua, 100% lovable. Oh yeah.
So many wrinkles, such a tiny face.
But there's a better chance your local Geico agent could help you out with auto, homeowners, renters, or condo insurance. Motorcycle, boat, or RV insurance too. They'll work hard to provide sound advice and significant savings. You don't need a chic, wrinkle-faced pup to do that. Local Geico agents. Call or visit yours today.
You're invited to Super Bowl 54 in beautiful Miami for a once-in-a-lifetime football experience from NFL On Location, the official hospitality partner of the NFL. You'll meet NFL alumni, enjoy exciting pregame parties, watch the action from the 50-yard line, and celebrate on the field after the game. For easy one-stop planning and access to hotels and travel, let NFL On Location plan your ultimate Super Bowl experience. Secure your official access and the best seats at Hard Rock Stadium today. Visit NFLOnLocation.com.
On game day, it takes an entire team to get the job done. Whether it's building the stadium, fixing the roads to get us here, or promoting economic development, the team we rely on is ELEC, the Engineers Labor Employer Cooperative. They promote investments in infrastructure and construction to provide opportunities for developers, union contractors, and members of Operating Engineers Local 825. ELEC, building the infrastructure New Jersey and the Jets rely on.
Career success is in your future with a degree from Centenary University. 98% of Centenary alumni are employed or in graduate school 9 months after graduation. Hit the ground running with internships and career-focused programs like criminal justice, data analytics, education, equine studies, and sports management. Generous scholarships and grants are available at Centenary University. They're committed to your success. Learn more at www.centenaryuniversity.edu.
Bunch set left now with 2 tight ends in front of Robbie Anderson. And Le'Veon Bell to the right of Sam Darnold in the shotgun. Darnold back to throw. Looks left, has time, scrambling left out of the pocket. He's going to flip one towards the end zone. He's got the tight end, Daniel Brown, and he's got it for a Jet touchdown.
Welcome back to Inside the Jets. We're broadcasting live from Vanderbilt Sports and Spirits inside the Wyndham Hamilton Park Hotel. Since that was a little sprint right for Sam Darnold on the touchdown pass to Robbie Anderson. Bob Wischusen on the call. Jets Reward members, don't forget to enter the code SPRINT. Yes, that's SPRINT in your Jets Rewards portal during the show to earn 100 points. We talked to Jordan Jenkins about it, Eric, in the first segment. Sam Darnold is maturing before our eyes. He is developing, not just in terms of his play on the field, but he's taking command in terms of being a leader.
Absolutely. I mean, you hear about him going into Coach Gase's office and taking command of the offense, talking about what kind of plays he wants to run. What do we need to be doing? What are my strengths? And you're seeing it. You're seeing the results of it out in the field. You're seeing a confident player who's taking leadership, more of a leadership role on the team. He's dominating on the field, and he really does seem more comfortable throwing the football.
Jordan Jenkins said after the interception, that was the one play you're going to look at in film review. If you're a Jets offensive coach, if you're Sam Darnold, you say, I want that one back, because they're trying to set up a screen for Ty Montgomery, kept on retreating, pressure in his face, throws high, interception goes the other way. But the defense did a nice job there. Sudden change of picking the offense up. And that's something we didn't see from this team early this season. They're playing better complementary football.
Yeah, that was awesome to see. You know, obviously it was very disappointing, you know, for that interception. You know, one that Sam probably should have thrown in the dirt and lived to see another down. But the defense took that challenge upon their shoulders. They said, listen, let's get a stop. Let's keep these guys off the board. They went out there. They stopped the Redskins, and they did it twice. You know, you talked about on the kick return.
Yep.
There was a fumble, sudden change as well. And you really take pride as a defense. You get together and say, listen, we got to get out of this however way we can. Do not allow them to score a touchdown. And what that does for your defense, for your team, it takes all the energy away from the opposing team. They have this big play, a momentum swing, and they end up with nothing. They end up maybe with a field goal. It kind of breaks their heart.
What did you think about Darnold's extension of plays? We saw it on the first touchdown pass to Daniel Brown. Buys a little bit more time, shuffling left. Defenders take a look at him. Landon Collins lets Daniel Brown, who was running a short out, he turns up the field. It was not out and up, but there are scramble drill rules, and the Jets receivers are in sync with their quarterback right now.
Yeah, it's great to see him, you know, create plays with his legs. You know, everyone, obviously, when you talk about an athletic quarterback, a mobile quarterback, everyone looks to Lamar Jackson. But there's more than one way you can be a mobile quarterback. You can extend plays by staying within the pocket. You can extend it by staying behind the line of scrimmage, keeping your eyes down the field, and being in sync with your receivers, as you see with Sam Darnold and his crew. I mean, it's great. It's great to see him throwing the ball on the run. I mean, how happy does he look when he's running to the right or running to the left and he sees someone, gets his shoulders across and delivers an absolute dime. It's amazing to see.
How about the drive at the end of the first half? Now, there's so many things to get to that are going right now for the Jets. And I know a lot of people will say, well, hold on a second. They're 3-7. Yeah, they are. And they did beat a bad football team who is scuffling right now. The Washington Redskins are one of the worst teams in the league. But they went in there in convincing fashion and took care of business. But I thought that drive at the end of the half was awfully impressive. 3 plays right down the field. He throws a strike to Le'Veon Bell. The next completion, the second completion on that was, again, buying time, going to the left. Ryan Griffin's all alone, touch pass to him, and then the third completion on that drive is Sam throwing a strike, just so decisive in the pocket, sees Griffin, knows he's going there, boom, touchdown.
Yeah, it was great. It was an amazing drive, and it's great to see the confidence, you know, going into ending half, finishing. That's what you want to see from this team, is them finishing out quarters, finishing out drives, finishing out halves. And those things add up, and they add to your confidence. And, you know, the play on Griffin, it was funny because, you know, I'm a safety, and I'm looking at Landon Collins, and he's playing the curl flat. And there's a wide receiver that was in the flat right in front of him. You see Griffin behind him. He takes the cheese, comes up front. Wide open Griffin, it was a touchdown. So it was great eyes by Sam Darnold, recognizing the coverage, understanding where the defender was and where he's supposed to be, and finding the open man.
What about the design movement calls from Adam Gase? That might have been part of that conversation when those guys got in the meeting, where Sam might have said, hey, get me on the move. Get me some boots. Let's do some play action and move me around. And we saw that in the first drive. The strike to Jamison Crowder. Then later in the game, we saw him hit Griffin, who had a lot of real estate after that, play action. And you see the offensive line blocking one way, And that's taking everybody that way, and then Sam's coming around.
Yeah, but it's important to establish that run game. That's why it's important.
Okay.
So the teams have to honor that. But I love the movement that the offense had yesterday. Whether it be the Robbie Anderson touchdown in the red zone, where Jamison Crowder motions across, he runs to the flat right at Josh Norman.
2 guys took him.
Yeah, and you see Josh Norman pause like, wait, am I in cover 2?
Right.
No, and then you see him make the decision, no, I'm covering this guy, and it's too late. Sam's on the move. He's in the corner, throws the ball right to the sideline where only Robbie Anderson can catch it, and it's a touchdown. But change up of pace, moving guys around on offense really can cause the defense to talk. And when they have to talk, the more they have to talk, the more opportunity there is for error. And that's what you saw yesterday.
400 total yards for the New York Jets against the Washington Redskins in that DC dismantling. And they score a touchdown in their opening possession for a 4th consecutive game. That has only happened one other time in franchise history. Eric did just mention the improved run game, and I want to talk about that and the offensive line, who continues to work multiple combinations, but they played awfully well. Might have been their best game overall, and how they can build on that on the other side. You are listening to Inside the Jets on ESPN New York.
Whether you're kicking back after a busy day or just kicking off a night out, join them at Vanderbilt Sports and Spirits, located inside the Wyndham Hamilton Park Hotel in Florham Park, New Jersey. Sample all of your game day favorites, from light snacks to locally sourced fare, and enjoy a rotating selection of craft beers and local brews. Catch your favorite team on one of their 27 televisions. Challenge friends at a game of pool on 2 regulation-sized tables, or gather around the fire pit on their outdoor patio. Visit Vanderbilt Sports and Spirits in Florham Park, New Jersey for your game day experience.
Bold statement. Saving money with Geico is almost better than watching football. Think about it. When you're watching the game, yelling at the quarterback to throw the ball, throw it, Williams is wide open, why are you doing this to me? Use that rocket arm, come on! They don't listen to you. But if you went into a Geico office and yelled, someone please help me save some money on car insurance, everyone would hop to it. Except the intern, because it's his first day and he doesn't even have a computer yet. See? Better. Switch and save with Geico. It's almost better than sports.
Your 2019 Jets are built for action, just like the all-new 888 Casino. The fun never ends at 888. Top slots, live dealers, and big jackpots. Your ultimate online casino experience. Join today and get a $20 free bonus. No deposit needed. Play for real money anywhere in New Jersey at home or on the go. Go to 888casino.com on your iOS, Android, or PC to get your $20 free bonus now. JETS 888. Terms and conditions apply. Must be 21 and physically located in the state of New Jersey to gamble. If you have a gambling problem, call 1-800-GAMBLER.
Ernst & Young LLP is proud to be the exclusive professional business and accounting services sponsor of the New York Jets and MetLife Stadium. Teaming with them as the official sponsor of the EY Coaches Club. As a global leader in assurance, tax, transaction, and advisory services, the global network of EY firms has better connected consultants who help organizations navigate the transformative age by asking better questions to find answers to some of the world's toughest challenges, all to build a better working world for their people, clients, and communities.
On game day, it takes an entire team to get the job done. Whether it's building the stadium, fixing the roads to get us here, or promoting economic development, the team we rely on is ELAC, the Engineers Labor Employer Cooperative. They promote investments in infrastructure and construction to provide opportunities for developers, union contractors, and members of Operating Engineers Local 825. ELAC, building the infrastructure New Jersey and the Jets rely on.
Hi, football fans. This is Director Jared Maples with the New Jersey Office of Homeland Security and Preparedness. It's our mission to protect New Jersey with our federal, state, and local partners. Of course, nobody knows our communities better than the people who live there. That's where you can help. If you see something that you suspect is out of the ordinary, report it. Together, we can keep our state safe. Remember, if you see something, say something. To learn more about what to look for, visit njhomelandsecurity.gov.
Haskins in the shotgun. Dice to his right. Drop to throw. Dumps it over the middle, and it's intercepted by Neville Hewitt at the 15-yard line. He's up to his right and returns it back down to about the 5. Dwayne Haskins threw it right to Neville Hewitt. And the Jets get an interception And they're having some fun celebrating that interception in
Welcome
the back
back
of the Redskins.
Welcome back to
end zone.
Inside the Jets. We are broadcasting live from Vanderbilt Sports and Spirits inside the Wyndham Hamilton Park Hotel. Remember, Jets fans, you can stream Inside the Jets live through the Jets app presented by M&T Bank. Go to the App Store or Google Play now and search official New York Jets. Eric, before the break, we were talking about the run game. They stuck to it. The numbers were there, not in terms of that gaudy average per carry, but 33 attempts in all for a season-high 115 rush yards. What did you see from the guys up front? And also the way Adam Gase used his stable of backs. It wasn't just Le'Veon Bell.
Yeah, I thought it was great. You know, the offensive line probably had one of their best performances of the season. You know, they were getting to the second level. They were double teaming the three technique and getting to those linebackers and opening holes for Bilal Powell. I mean, you think about Bilal Powell, he's just consistent. You know, as soon as he gets the ball, he's trying to score. It seems like every time he gets the ball, he's trying to make someone miss and get to that end zone. And, I mean, there's nothing else I could say about him. You know, he just has a great effort. You know, he's a great player, and he continued to do it year in and year out. So it was great to see the mix-up. You know, Le'Veon Bell, a little Ty Montgomery, some Bilal Powell. Adams got in there. It was nice to see the stable, you know, get an opportunity to run the football.
Bilal Powell doesn't waste any time hitting a hole, does he?
Oh, no. He's hitting it right now, and he's trying to hit his head on the field goal post.
Right.
Every time, no matter where he is.
Yeah, and he almost did on that 17-yarder. He had so many moves, he took himself to the ground there, right? What does that provide the defense in terms of different looks? You got a patient guy like Le'Veon who is so big, who can carry you, who can make you miss, and then you see 29 come at you. He's not as big, and maybe he can hide behind linemen a little bit, and before you know it, he's through that hole.
Well, you know, it's very difficult for a defense. You know, you get used to – it's like a pitcher. It's like a pitcher just throwing fastballs, and then all of a sudden he hits you with a changeup, and it catches you off guard. And that's what it's like when you change up the running backs. You know, as a safety, you get used to feeling a hole a certain way. You kind of get a feel for how the running back is seeing the field, and then you change it up, and there's someone else in there. Now it changes everything. You know, Bilal Powell's a guy who, you know, first of all, Le'Veon, he's patient. You know, he's going to set up his blocks. He's going to cut back. He has great vision. Then you get Bilal, where if there's a crease, he's going to hit it, and you better be there, because if you're not, he's going to still be running.
Now, Chuma Adoga had a couple times where he had some difficulty with Ryan Kerrigan, and that's going to happen from time to time. Ryan Kerrigan is a pro in the National Football League. He's had some pass rushing success over the years. But by and large, a lot of people were wondering how was this line going to respond, because, again, another different combination. Tom Compton taking over for Brian Winters at right guard. And Jonathan Harrison, he's been center for a few games now. Ryan Khalil, though, ultimately placed on injured reserve. You get Kelvin Beachum back in the lineup the last couple weeks. I think the line, all in all, that might have been their best performance 2019.
I agree. And having Beachum back is a big help. You know, you have a security blanket over there on the left side, and Sam understands that when he drops back, he doesn't really have to worry about what's going on behind him. You know, and having the rest of the players, Jonathan Harrison, I thought he did a great job. He's a very athletic center. He can get out on the move. He's physical at the point of attack. And I like the way that the offensive line is progressing. Listen, they're a young group. You know, no one's going to mistake them as the Cowboys offensive line or you know, the Colts offensive line, but they're working towards it, and they're putting out better performances, and they're only going to get better.
What do you make of Ryan Griffin? He goes over 100 yards receiving for the first time in his career. When the Jets picked him up, a lot of people thinking, oh, that's a nice depth signing, but they've had to depend on this guy in a big way this season, because basically a lost year for Chris Herndon, who went on injured reserve, only played one game. But Griffin is kind of a jack of all trades. He can do everything in the field.
Yeah, he can, and you love to see guys like that have success. I mean, we had him on the show, and just as cool as they come, you know, a hard worker, humble, you know, does it all, does whatever the coaches ask of him. You know, if they want him to block, he's going to be out there blocking. They want him on the move, he's going to be on the move. They ask him to catch some balls, he's going to do the most with it. And to see him get rewarded, to see him create those big plays, I love it, and I wish him more success.
Well, let's go to the other side of the ball. Let's go to your side, Eric Coleman, the defensive side. Just how good has Greg Williams been this year? You think about the injuries. I know the Jets have endured them on both sides of the football. But at the inside linebacker position, C.J. Mosley, we talk about his absence every week and what they've done there, stopping the run. And now at the cornerback position, this is jumping out to me because Brian Poole has been one of the most underrated people on this roster. He's been fantastic all year at that nickel position. But Arthur Millette is playing outside the numbers, and a rookie, Bless Austin, and those guys acquitting themselves just fine.
Well, I mean, that just shows I love how Greg Williams coaches his team. It doesn't matter, what your role is, what your salary is. You got to go out there and play your best. You got to go out there and play hard every play and don't make mistakes, and you're going to get rewarded. You're going to get opportunities, and these young guys have earned it. They've been doing it in the offseason. They've been doing it throughout the season in practice, and they're getting their time to shine, and it's showing. And I don't think people give Greg Williams enough credit for what he's doing as far as a play caller. I mean, you're missing the strength of your defense. You're missing a lot of linebackers. So what do? You put Jamal Adams here. You put him there. You mix some coverages up. You mix some blitz looks up. And you still make plays. So, Greg Williams has done some amazing things as a defensive coordinator with his schemes and the way he's called this defense. And, I mean, I can't say enough for what they're doing.
How difficult is it for a young quarterback to identify those pressure packages? We were talking to Jordan Jenkins about that before. Because you got all these guys crowding the line. Brian Poole's coming. Jamal Adams, is coming. But the linebackers are showing pressure. At least that's what I'm thinking when I'm watching. And they all bail at the final seconds. And Dwayne Haskins got to be thinking, what the hell is this?
Yeah, it muddies everything up for the quarterback. When a quarterback comes to the line of scrimmage, you see him, going through the cadence, making calls, making fake, checks. And he's trying to get the defense to show their hand so he can get an understanding of what coverage they're in, where is the pressure coming from, where is the weakness of this defense. But what the Jets are doing, they're bringing everybody to the line of scrimmage. They're moving guys around. And so when he's doing that fake hike,
right,
no one's moving, and then all of a sudden the ball snaps, and he has to figure it out while he's dropping back. And that's a lot to ask for a rookie quarterback, to see two defensive linemen dropping back. And he's like, wait, is this a blitz or is it coverage? And then he makes a lot of mistakes. It causes him to hold the ball for an extra second, and that's when you see the sacks start coming.
If you're a running back in the National Football League right now and you're blocking assignments, Jamal Adams, man, you better stay on him, because there were a couple instances now where we've seen the last couple weeks where guys are getting in front of him, but either Jamal's motor is just tremendous and off the charts, and he keeps on going, and he never stops on a play, and he's going to get there. Or he's just running through people. Yeah, I mean, you saw him last week run through Saquon. Yep. This past yesterday, he's running around defenders. Yep. And it's interesting because when safeties blitz, they're usually like the free hitter where nobody sees him coming. But Jamal everyone knows he's coming, and he's still getting pressure. And it just speaks to his motor. He has a great motor. You talk about defensive ends that just keep going and don't give up on a play. Jamal does that in his pass rush, and he's being rewarded at the end of those plays. Okay, these guys in the locker room cannot afford to look ahead. They're not good enough to do that. It is a week-to-week league, the National Football League. No doubt about that. But if I'm a fan, I want this team to get to 6-7 before they go to Baltimore, because if I'm a fan, I can look at that schedule and say, we got the Raiders at home. Good team, no doubt about it. Mm-hmm. But we should be in this game, and there's no reason why we can't win. Then you go to Cincinnati, a winless ball club that's really scuffling, similar to a team you just saw in Washington. And then you come home and you face the Miami Dolphins, and you owe the Dolphins a little something. Absolutely. I mean, there's a big opportunity for the Jets right now if they continue to play at this pace. Yeah. They're not beating themselves. They're not making a lot of mistakes. And anytime they do that, they're not getting a lot of penalties. No mental mistakes. Sam Darnold's taking care of the football. They're making plays. They're being aggressive in their play calls. Listen, they can beat anyone. And I'm not saying, they're going to win the Super Bowl. I'm not trying to do that. Listen, they're playing some good football right now, and if they continue at that trend, at that clip, then they're going to end up 6-7 at Baltimore, and it's going to make for a great game. So before we preview the Raiders in depth in our final segment, I will say a couple things they won't be able to do against Oakland and come away with the victory is Sam can't have that interception like he did in the first half. Vincent Smith can't come back in the ensuing kickoff and turn the football over. You have back-to-back turnovers like that, a sequence like that. That spells trouble. But this team is playing well. They overcame the adversity against the Washington Redskins. But coming up here on Inside the Jets, we will preview this weekend's matchup between the New York Jets and the Oakland Raiders. You are listening to Inside the Jets on ESPN New York.
Ernst & Young LLP is proud to be the exclusive professional business and accounting services sponsor of the New York Jets and MetLife Stadium, teaming with them as the official sponsor of the EY Coaches Club. As a global leader in assurance, tax, transaction, and advisory services, the global network of EY firms has better connected consultants who help organizations navigate the transformative age by asking better questions to find answers to some of the world's toughest challenges, all to build a better working world for their people, clients, and communities.
Selective Insurance is people, dedicated and tireless, passionate about digging in to be the difference. Our independent agents, working with us to offer the right protection, making businesses better, making communities safer, making lives whole again, all in the service of our mutual customer. Always at the head of the table. The customer, the independent agent, and Selective. Together. That's what makes the promise possible.
Every time you close your laptop, a Corona gets its lime. And every time your to-do list is to do one less thing, a Corona gets its lime. Every time you press pause. Every time you unwind or lose track of time, a Corona gets its lime. And every time your feet are up while the sun goes down, a Corona gets its lime. So drop a lime in and find your beach. Please drink responsibly. Corona Extra Beer imported by Crown Imports, Chicago, Illinois.
We haven't seen a superstar like this in years.
You're not kidding, Bob. But people need to know about this standout.
Introducing this year's most sought-after rookie, the M&T Bank Jets debit card. New on the scene, this fantastic plastic stands 2.125 inches tall and weighs a lean 0.2 ounces. This small but mighty paying machine is sure to be charging through checkout lines all season long.
Hey Jets fans, get your hands on the exclusive Jets debit card with Easy Choice Checking. It's free from a monthly maintenance fee and free from a minimum balance requirement, leaving you free from worry.
You know, I have a feeling we're going to be seeing this powerhouse everywhere soon.
No doubt about it. I want one on my team.
So show your love for the Jets and save on fees today. Rush to any M&T Bank branch or mtb.com/Jets today. M&T Bank, the official community bank of your New York Jets. Other transaction and service fees, including insufficient funds and overdraft fees, may apply to this account. Member FDIC.
You're invited to Super Bowl 54 in beautiful Miami for a once-in-a-lifetime football experience from NFL On Location, the official hospitality partner of the NFL. You'll meet NFL alumni, enjoy exciting pregame parties, watch the action from the 50-yard line, and celebrate on the field after the game. For easy one-stop planning and access to hotels and travel, let NFL On Location plan your ultimate Super Bowl experience. Secure your official access and the best seats at Hard Rock Stadium today. Visit NFLOnLocation.com.
Career success is in your future with a degree from Centenary University. 98% of Centenary alumni are employed or in graduate school 9 months after graduation. Hit the ground running with internships and career-focused programs like criminal justice, data analytics, education, equine studies, and sports management. Generous scholarships and grants are available at Centenary University. They're committed to your success. Learn more at www.centenaryuniversity.edu.
Your 2019 Jets are built for action, just like the all-new 888 Casino. The fun never ends at 888. Top slots, live dealers, and big jackpots. Your ultimate online casino experience. Join today and get a $20 free bonus. No deposit needed. Play for real money anywhere in New Jersey at home or on the go. Go to 888casino.com on your iOS, Android, or PC to get your $20 free bonus now. JETS 888. Terms and conditions apply. Must be 21 and physically located in the state of New Jersey to gamble. If you have a gambling problem, call 1-800-GAMBLER.
Sam Darnold with a 13-3 lead in the shotgun belt to his left. Takes the snap, drops back, looks left, throws left, hits Griffin, at the 5, front left corner of the end zone. Griffin's in for a touchdown.
Welcome back to Inside the Jets. We are presented by EY, Building a Better Working World. Eric Allen and Eric Coleman here at Vanderbilt Sports and Spirits. Inside the Wyndham Hamilton Park Hotel. Come on by next week. The Jets are in a little bit of a run here, 2 games. Can they make it 3 against the Oakland Raiders? What do you think about this matchup? I'm excited to see what John Gruden has in store here because the Raiders are back, huh? 6-4, and this is a step up in weight class for the Jets, don't you think?
Absolutely. I mean, the Raiders, as you mentioned, 6-4. They're a physical ball club. You know, they're playing inspired football right now. John Gruden has them playing lights out. You know, they're overachieving, some would say, from the adversity that they faced throughout the offseason, throughout the training camp, all the diversions they had going on in their locker room. They stayed together, and they're playing a great brand of football right now, you know, led by Derek Carr, and you know, he's doing an excellent job.
He's completing 72% of his passes. How would you describe the system that John Gruden is running there in Oakland? They'll run the football. They'll go heavy packages a lot of times, but people will say that's a system predominantly that's going to rely on a short passing game, correct?
Yeah, you know, it's a West Coast offense,
Yep.
but the run first, the smash mouth football, they're going to take, you know, they want their receivers to catch the ball and run. You know, want to give them opportunities to make big plays, but at the same time, they will use the play action to take shots down the field. So, you know, John Gruden does a great job of scouting defenses. He's an offensive mastermind, so he understands, you know, who's their biggest threat on defense. So, you know, Jamal Adams, you know, they're going to have something for Jamal.
Yeah.
You know, they're going to try to probably run away from him, do something to scheme Jamal because he's the guy who's been making all the plays. So, you know, running the football is their bread and butter, though.
So I love this matchup between Greg Williams and John Gruden. What do the Jets do to take away Derek Carr's favorite target, Darren Waller? A kid who came, I shouldn't call him a kid because he's an NFL veteran, but 6'6", came out of he came out of Georgia Tech as a wide receiver.
Mm-hmm.
And now he is the guy at the tight end position, and he can be a mismatch nightmare for opposing defenses.
Yeah, I mean, he's tough. You know, as you mentioned, has the receiver background, so he knows how to run routes. He's an excellent route runner. I think, you know, with the receiving tight ends that I played against that were successful, we always use a guy like Jordan Jenkins, you know, to chip him,
Okay.
to delay his release, to throw off the timing of the quarterback. And then you'd have another guy, you know, more athletic guy. Probably not myself. You know, I was a shorter safety, so he's going to use his body to get away from me. A longer guy who can cover well, whether it be a corner, whether it be a big safety, that's waiting for him after he gets jammed at the line of scrimmage.
So if they move him off the line, if Waller's outside the numbers, do you put a cornerback on him?
Yeah, there's nothing wrong with that. You
Yeah.
can put a cornerback on him. You know, he's going to be, you know, physical. He's going to try to use his body, use his leverage, and box you out. So, you know, the cornerback, that's what they do. You know, they play in space, they cover, and I think that would be a good matchup. Now, the problem is once you get to the red zone,
Yeah.
you know, how do you match up? Because those jump balls, those opportunities there. But, you know, it can definitely be handled.
They do have some other weapons there. Tyrell Williams, another athletic receiver for the Oakland Raiders. And then, of course, Hunter Renfrow, a guy who was very productive at Clemson, and he just catches the football.
Yeah, he does. I mean, very unassuming. You know, he's a very good route runner, sure hands. You know, does an excellent job of running. You know, of winning against that third cornerback in the slot. So, you know, he can be a problem. He moves the chains for him. He's their version of Jamison Crowder right now.
Now, do you buy into the difficulty for a West Coast team coming east? The Raiders just finished a 3-game homestand, 3-0. But they're not playing in the Coliseum. They're coming to the East Coast. 1-3 on the road this year.
Yeah, it's difficult. You know, coming from the West Coast, going to the East Coast, I mean, you lose 3 hours. Your timing's off. It's cold over here. You know, the weather's different. So it is quite the adjustment. Obviously, you know, a West Coast team can have success out east, but it's more difficult than the other way around. You know, I remember for us going to the West Coast was like, first of all, it's like a vacation because the weather's always nice, but you get that extra time. You know, you get that extra sleep, and you lose all that when you come from the West Coast. So the Jets definitely have an advantage. With that being said, I think they have to jump out on the Raiders early and try to score as many points as early as possible.
What's that next step for the offense? You just mentioned jump on them early. They haven't had any problems out of the gate lately. 4 games, like we talked about, 4 touchdowns on the opening possession. I mean, you're talking about one other time in franchise history that this team has done it. So that tells me Adam Gase and Sam Darnold, they're in sync, and the offense is prepared as soon as they get out on the field.
Yeah, I mean, you got to give a lot of credit to Coach Gase, the scouting department, the offensive coordinator, for understanding how these defenses are trying to attack teams and finding the weakness and exposing that through that first drive. You know, typically you script that first 15, 20 plays of the game, and then you adjust off of that. The Jets have done a great job with that script during the first 15, and the last game, they continued with that pressure, applying that pressure on defenses. But I think this week when you talk about the Oakland Raiders, they're going to have to stop Max Crosby.
4 sacks.
4 sacks.
Jordan Jenkins just mentioned that. He had 4 sacks against the Cincinnati Bengals.
Yeah, he was going off. He's been struggling getting to the quarterback, but he's a very athletic defensive end. And there's some ball players over there. Obviously they lost Khalil Mack in the trade, and they've been looking for a pass rusher. And, they're finding a way to get it done.
Yeah. What do you think's next for Sam Darnold here? Trying to make it back-to-back strong performances here in year 2 as he really looks to be taking that next step.
Yeah, I think for Sam to take that next step, it's going to be about consistency, doing it week in and week out. Eliminating those mistakes, the screen pass, the pass against the Giants or the week before when he's rolling out of the pocket. Some of those passes, it's okay to throw the ball out of bounds. It's okay to throw it in the dirt sometimes, and I think Sam understands that. But when he gets in the heat of the moment, he's so competitive, and he wants to make it happen so bad that it kind of overrules his better judgment.
Yeah, well, we'll see if the Jets can make it 3 in a row. And, hey, folks, if you are in Florham Park, come down to Vanderbilt Sports and Spirits next week because Eric Coleman and myself will be here. Jets Raiders Sunday at MetLife Stadium. Thanks for everybody for coming out tonight, and we'll see you next week on Inside the Jets.
Selective Insurance is people, dedicated and tireless, passionate about digging in to be the difference. Our independent agents, working with us to offer the right protection, making businesses better, making communities safer, making lives whole again, all in the service of our mutual customer, always at the head of the table. The customer, the independent agent, and Selective. Together. That's what makes the promise possible.